DDG was smart. He would have understood this a long time ago. Once you decided you was no longer going to be with Hailey as a relationship, you gave up your rights as the primary father. Most of us active fathers go through this.
I'm just going to say this is my opinion on all this DDG and Hailey Bailey type situation. One, DDG, let's be honest about this. The baby's not being kept from you. The problem is that you hate that your baby mama is moving on. You hate that your baby mama is dating somebody else and seems to be happy. And because she seems to be happy, you're upset. Second of all, if you truly wanted to see your child halo, go to court. You got the money. You got the money. It's the first time that you don't got no excuses as a man. You have no excuses. Go get you a good lawyer, a good family lawyer. Go to the court, petition for your parental rights, and go get your son. At the end of the day, it's not based off of you not being able to see your son or spend time with your son. You're just upset that your baby mama is now moving on and she seems happy with another man. That's just what it is at the end of the day. Okay? Because if you were truly over the whole entire relationship, and you just wanted to be a good father, you would be in court. Instead of being online talking this nonsense, talking about, oh, I can't see my son. I'm saying I can't spend as much time as I used to. Who told you to leave that relationship? Who told you to break up that relationship? Did you actually think a full thought out about you being in that relationship and no longer being with that mom and what that looked like, what came with it, the repercussions of that whole entire situation? No, you didn't. You did an emotional decision, or you chose to be reckless and you left that relationship to now be outside with the boys. Now you're seeing that you can't be the dad that you quote unquote imagine yourself to be because you're no longer in the same household as the mother and your child, and you see your mother of your child is moving on and is happily doing her thing, and you are upset because one, you don't have the same thing that she has, and two, you miss that old thing.
Is DDG a good dad for bringing his custody issues with H. Bailey to the internet, or is there another way? DDG and H. Bailey's dispute raises a crucial question. How can parents prioritize their child's well-being amidst personal conflict? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Black Tea Podcast. Today, we're diving into a sensitive topic that's been making waves online, the custody dispute between DDG and Hailey Bailey. As always, we'll approach this discussion with a Christian perspective, focusing on the principles of family, responsibility, the importance of resolving conflict privately, and the impact of our actions. I've seen the clips and the commentary surrounding this situation. It's clear there's a lot of frustration and pain on both sides, but what can we, as a community rooted in faith, learn from this very public disagreement? How can we apply biblical principles to understand and navigate such challenges? First, let's talk about the treacherous role of the internet. DDG has taken to social media to express his concerns about not being able to see his child. While I understand his frustration, airing grievances online rarely leads to resolution. In fact, it often exacerbates the situation. As Christians, we are called to resolve conflict privately, seeking wise counsel and mediation when necessary. Social media is not a biblical tool for conflict resolution. It is more likely to incite further attacks and bullying from supporters, as has already happened in this case. The internet also never forgets, and their child may see this one day. This brings me to my second point, the critical importance of responsible fatherhood. Many people online are praising DDG for wanting to be involved in his child's life. And while that is commendable, wanting to be present is only the first step. True fatherhood requires consistent effort, sacrifice, and a willingness to put the child's needs above one's own desires. It means working with the mother, even when there is disagreement, to create a stable and loving environment for the child. DDG seems to feel like a nanny. Ultimately, a father's rights are curtailed the moment he and the mother are no longer in a committed relationship. The father is at the mercy of the mother's decisions. Now, let's prayerfully consider Hailey Bailey's unenviable position. She has faced immense public scrutiny and even hatred, particularly after being cast as the Little Mermaid. The internet can be a brutal place, and it's understandable that she would want to protect her child from that negativity. As mothers, women often have a protective instinct, wanting to shield their children from harm. However, co-parenting requires open communication and a willingness to compromise. Some suggest that she may be using the child as a pawn, but it is also not required of her if she is not married to the father of her child. Another crucial issue that we need to address head-on is the foundational concept of respect within families. A wife must respect her husband through loyalty and consideration. Consideration means thinking about how your decisions will impact others. However, in this case, the two are not married, so this standard does not fully apply. This underscores the importance of marriage as a covenantal relationship built on mutual respect and commitment. Next, let's discuss the appropriate and necessary legal avenues available. Several commentators have pointed out that DDG should pursue legal channels to establish his parental rights and create a formal custody agreement. This is sound and practical advice. While going to court can be stressful and expensive, it is often the most effective way to ensure that both parents have clear guidelines and expectations. It allows a judge to make decisions based on the best interests of the child, rather than on fleeting emotions or the pressures of social media. Another incredibly important lesson for us to learn from this situation is about thoughtfully navigating co-parenting relationships after a breakup. Co-parenting relationships can be incredibly complex and emotionally charged. Ideally, parents should strive to prioritize the well-being of their children above all else, shielding them as much as possible from the inevitable conflict. Finally, let's soberly reflect on the potentially devastating long-term impact of these decisions and actions. The raw and unfiltered clips of this painful dispute will likely remain online for years, if not decades, to come. Halo, their child, may one day see these videos and read the often vicious comments. As parents, we must be ever mindful of the messages we are sending and the example we are setting for our children. Our words and actions have far-reaching consequences, not just for ourselves in the present moment, but for the lives and futures of our children as well. As a final word, it must be said that the instability of the parents' relationship is the root of these issues. It is always best to get married before having children. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from this difficult situation? This very public dispute serves as a stark reminder that family disputes should always be handled with the utmost care, discretion, and an unwavering focus on the long-term well-being of the child involved. The often toxic environment of the internet is simply not the appropriate place to attempt to resolve deeply personal and complex family conflicts. Instead, we should consistently seek wise counsel from trusted mentors, pursue appropriate legal avenues when necessary, and always strive to act in a way that honors God, upholds biblical principles, and protects the precious sanctity of our families. It is also a powerful reminder to get married before having children. Thank you for joining me on the Black Tea Podcast. I pray that this discussion has been both helpful and thought-provoking for you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with others in your community. And as always, may God bless you and richly bless your family.